Coveting the crystal. That's what Sunday in Cromwell is all about. His task wasn't easy, but he ended up making it look that way. Dear old Dad was the first star of the family. Now, Mr. 59 has a son with a tour title. From the ace that wowed them.
Be the right distance, he says. Or was it ever?
To the face of victory. Brent was meant to have his day in the sun. It's the crowning of a new champion on Inside the GHO.
Live from the TPC River Highlands in Cromwell, this is Inside the GHO.
You are looking live at the 18th hole at TPC River Highlands, where this afternoon, Brent Guyberger made all his dreams come true. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Tessitore, joined by Eric Clemons. John Mayo and Billy Ray Brown will be along in moments. Well, the weather out here, it looks like we could have had a golf tournament, huh, Eric?
Yeah, it would just be ending now if they didn't make that move. Of course, a storm was expected from Mother Nature, but we got a storm from one Brent Guyberger who really started like a house of fire. 5 under par on his first 9 holes of the day and really cruised in from there to win the championship.
This was a big-time coast job, but you have to hold up that score when you put it up there, and he did. He was holding something else up afterward.
That's right, and he was holding up the trophy. Let's take a look at the winner who finished 18 under par. That's a new course record here at TPC River Highlands for the GHO. Brent Guyberger, 31 years old, Mr. Calm, really not that overstated in his golf game, not that overstated when he speaks either, but he is your 1999 Canon GHO champion, and he posed there with that trophy and a host of others for what seemed like an eternity. I mean, everybody, they were going into the gallery getting people to take pictures with Guyberger. Very patient.
So how did it end up, you say? Well, Guyberger was in cruise control. Here's the leaderboard. He was all the way at 21 under before going double and then bogey on 17 and 18 to finish at 18 under. Skip Kendall. Any other year, Eric, he's got himself a title. And, of course, everybody else following, Brent Guyberger. Here's what Brent said afterwards.
Pretty special. Pretty awesome. I wanted to get out and get off to a better start today than I did yesterday. And I just tried to keep myself calm out there. I was talking with my caddy, and we just kind of, in between shots, just kind of talked about other things, and I felt really calm out there, and I felt really good, and I know I was playing decent.
With some of the names that were chasing Brent Guyberger atop the leaderboard, I just thought in my bones that we'd get a playoff out here today, and he just wrested it away from everyone.
How did he do it? Here's how he did it, with a lot of guts and even some antics when it came down to the final 2 closing holes. Most players that finish Sunday with trouble on 17 aren't cashing $450,000 checks. This was Brent Guyberger's second shot on the signature hole. But that soggy double bogey was nothing more than a coast ride in for a nice landing. Because of moments like this on the front 9, today's final round played out to an obvious finish. On the par 3 fifth, his birdie putt had him already 18 under. By the time Guyberger had reached number 9, he was lining up a front 9 score of 30. Here at 20 under par, not throwing it away was the only concern.
I just tried to stay with the same game plan I had, and I know I didn't look at a board till 16 or 17, and I knew Ted in my group was about 15 under, so I didn't know what anybody else was doing, but I knew if I was 5 or 6 under on the day, I knew somebody wasn't going to shoot 8 or 9 under to catch me.
Brent's early efforts forced the rest of the field to go for broke. On number 12, Justin Leonard made a surge. The putt drops in and dropped his score to 15 under.
Hardest hole on the golf course for the first 3. Peter?
The double bogey on 14 made catching Guyberger unrealistic.
14, I hit a poor drive, hit my second shot left, and it bounced further left into a bad line. Couldn't get it on the green, chipped it about 8 feet past and missed that. So made double there. Came back and birdied 15 and had 3 putts at the last 3 holes, but a little disappointing there towards the end.
Skip Kendall was a victim of timing. Any other year, his 15 under total would have taken the GHO championship in record form. He was fantastic on 15, needing to play aggressively. Driving the shortest par 4 on the PGA Tour was his goal, and the outcome was sensational.
That's a great place. I played with Marco Mira yesterday and Justin today, but no matter who it is, people really get behind you. and it's just a great venue to come to, and I'll definitely be here in the future.
Surging late among the leaders was Mark Calcavecchia. Closing strong with a 6-under 64 placed him third. But there was no need to sit around and watch from the clubhouse. Just ask Ted Treba.
Brent played great. I mean, he played an unbelievable front nine. I went out there, shot 32 in the front nine, I didn't make a bogey, and I lost ground. So Brent played just absolutely phenomenal golf. I mean, obviously set the record, but this is great. This is Brent's first win. The ironic thing was I did an interview out in Seattle just on Tuesday, and they were asking me how come Brent Guyberger hasn't won out here, and I said to him, hey, it's just a matter of time. And he won this week.
Treba witnessed the masterful day from Guyberger firsthand, all while trying to keep up himself. One day removed from his course record 62, he found trouble on the always tough 10th hole. It was his first bogey since Thursday. That streak may have snapped, but Stewart Cink's mighty mark will live for another year. He has now gone 15 straight rounds at the GHO with scores in the 60s.
So I've said it all along, I just like the way this place sets up from the tees, and I like the greens, and that's just a combination that you'd really like to see when you come out here and play on this tour.
Of course, it all came down to number 18. No drama here, folks, just a formality. And a big check for the California Dreamer. You know, two things I take away from the leaders piece we just saw there. Number one, the calm style of Brent Guyberger. I think that aided him greatly, having that big score up there and not choking down the stretch. And number two, Stewart Cink. If you look at the past 4 years, 15 straight rounds now in the 60s. It's almost amazing that this guy only has one GHO title in that span of 4 years, because some of the marks he's thrown up there, you would think he would have a couple titles in there.
Well, the thing I take away from it is that, unfortunately for the galleries out here, we didn't have the kind of drama that we had last year with Olin Brown sinking that improbable shot on 18 in the first hole of a playoff to win it. But that doesn't take anything away from Brent Guyberger, who just methodically played that front nine today and took everybody else out of it. It was a performance, Joe, indicative, if you will, of the superstar play of David Duval. And for more on his day today, which was a more Duval-like day, let's join John Mayo standing by live on the putting green. John?
Well, you know, Eric, Brent Guyberger, his father, Al Guyberger, is the original Mr. 59. David Duval has joined that very exclusive club firing a 59 of his own. And, you know, for a while today, he was flirting with another one. David Duval had it going on in the final round of the GHO.
It was easy to tell when David Duval was coming up the fairway. Check out the gallery. Huge crowds following one of the game's brightest stars.
Way to go, David!
Even the youngest of fans knew that Duval had his A game in the GHO's final round, a 7-under par 63. For a while, he even had thoughts of breaking 60, said Duval, somewhat facetiously.
Actually, I was thinking of anything trying to shoot 58. I wasn't concerned about 8 under. I was concerned about maybe getting at 12. So, but I think you can break 60 here. Yeah, you catch perfect days like we've had. There's been a lot of 62s.
Tomorrow's a big day for Duval. He goes one-on-one against Tiger Woods in a match in California. The game's two big guns shooting it out. The winner claims $1.1 million.
It's going to be a lot of fun, but and I think it'll make for some good viewing. But I imagine we'll go have a Coke when we're done together. If I can play like I'm playing now and just make a couple putts, I'll be ready to go.
Duval heard all about that match today. Beat Tiger was a popular theme.
At least 1,000 times. I heard it all day on every hole.
Indeed, he did. Now, Tiger's been resting up for their match. Duval out here shooting a 63. I think he'll take a 63 tomorrow, and if he does, 1.1 mil in the pocket, guys.
You know, the strange thing about David Duval is you look at his week out here, and what happened on Saturday?
Well,
you throw that +2 in the mix.
Saw him at about the 6th hole. He was at 8 under par and doing well, and he wound up the day, really struggled on the backside and finished at a +2 for the day, and it really kind of took him out of contention.
I know everybody has their ups and downs. He's one of the more consistent under par scorers on the tour. You just even give an average David Duval in there on a Saturday round, you throw that +2 out of there, and he's right in the mix here.
He is right in the mix, and, well, one of my picks doesn't come through.
Again.
None of us picked Guyberger either.
That's right.
All right, well, coming up on Inside the GHO, Curtis Jackson standing by on the putting green to tell us all about the crowds on what turned out to be a dry and hot Sunday. Curtis?
Well, Eric, you had to wake up pretty early to enjoy some golf today. I'm going to have that story when Inside the GHO rolls on.
Inside the GHO on WFSB-3 is brought to you by New England Jeep Eagle Dealers, Webster Bank, Connecticut Toyota Dealers, People's Bank, and Buick.
Welcome back to TPC River Highlands. Joe Tessitore, Billy Ray Brown, Eric Clemons, where Brent Guyberger is your new GHO champ. And Billy Ray, you know something about being a new GHO champ because this was as well your first victory, just like Brent is experiencing right now.
I tell you what, Brent's sitting right now. He's very tired mentally right now. He looked very patient out there, but he was like a duck on top of the water. He looked calm on top, but working underneath the water at that point in time. Brett's probably going to go back to the hotel tonight. Actually, you and I talked to him. He's going to go back and relax and try to reflect on today's victory. And I tell you what, it's going to be a stepping stone for him.
I tell you what, he got off to that torrid start. Yeah, he struggled early in his round yesterday, and the 8th hole really picked him up and turned his play around. But today, he came out, especially on number 9, picking up a birdie out there at the turn was really a turning point.
Well, I tell you what, he played the front 9 and 30 again, which he is finished on the back 9 yesterday with 30, played the front 9 and 30 also, and he made everybody play for second place from that point. He was control of his game, control of his emotions, and a great champion to have.
Let's take a look at hole number 9 because you talk about going out there and just putting everybody behind him. He comes in and shoots a 30. Walk us through hole number 9.
Well, number 9 is somewhat of a short par 4. It's 406 yards. You got some bunkers on the right. It's kind of cascaded to the right. You want to hit a little cut shot off this left bunker right here. And this is a birdie hole for the pros. If they put the ball in the fairway, they're playing either a 9-iron or a wedge into this green, into a pretty flat green. And today they had a good pin placement in the back, and they were making a lot of birdies. And Brent making another birdie here, just put another notch in his belt.
And Eric, the other hole we want to feature is the hole that he's sort of got people nervous on, number 17.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get nervous on number 17. We've seen some strange things happen there over the last 2 years. Hammond last year putting all of them in the drink, and a double bogey for the champion today.
I tell you what, when you have, it's good you have coming to a golf tournament with a 6-shot lead coming in 17. This hole is so tough, it demands straight driving. The bunkers are on the left, water on the right, so you try to lead to the left side of the fairway. But today, Brent put the ball in the bunker. I can't believe he went for the green. What a gutsy play. He was trying to do a AKA DA wireman to that aspect.
Yeah.
I thought he'd play to the left side of the green, chip it up and make his bogey, but lo and behold, he went for the green, hit it in the water, and made a double bogey. But what a finishing hole. That 15 through 18 stretch, 4 great holes to finish a golf tournament on.
Well, we didn't have a Jean Van de Velde in the British Open, and that's the good news. So who is Brent Guyberger, you ask? Well, we know his lineage. He is the son of Mr. 59, but Billy Ray, give us the inside wrap as to what he's like on the tour and what he's all about.
I tell you what you saw from Brent today on the golf course being calm. You know, he's from Palm Desert. He's got a great background with his dad being a great tour player also, but he's the same way off the golf course than he is on the golf course. He's very quiet. He's very analytical about what he does, and that helped him win the golf tournament today. He's very patient. And I think today also, if people want to look at it, he had a great caddy on his bag also. They talked about different things besides golf today, and I think that was a big key to keep him distracted from the task in hand.
67 today. You see on the back 9, he cruised in before he got that birdie on number 16, and then the double on 17 and the bogey on 18.
Well, I think that the double at 17 and the bogey at 18, he was just trying to figure out what the acceptance speech, what he was going to say. He kind of lost track of what he was doing at that point in time. He knew he had the golf tournament won. When he drove it in the bunker on 17 and got out of the water, I think at that point in time he knew he had the golf tournament won. He kind of went a little blank a little bit. He was trying to say, okay, what am I going to do with that $450,000, and what do I say to the crowd?
Guy that I feel real bad for. I mean, he had a great tournament, but Skip Kendall. I mean, he goes out here, and be it any other year, we are just applauding Skip Kendall to no end. He's got a course record. He's got the big check for $450.
Well, this is not uncharacteristic for Skip Kendall. He's had a lot of top 10 finishes in his career. But if you look down the stretch, starting at number 12 today, I was watching the telecast. 12 through 18, he had a lot of close putts that just went over the side of the hole, and he could have made this thing interesting and put a little bit more pressure on Brett. But, at times that you win, other players don't make the putts. And I tell you what, it's time for Skip now to win his first golf tournament, just like Brent did today.
Was there any realistic chance that Guyberger was going to crash and fall down the stretch here when he hit 21? I mean,
well, his critical point in the round was at number 13, the par 5, with out of bounds left and the water down the right, and he took out driver. I would probably take out a 200 or 300 and try to get in the fairway.
Yeah.
He took out driver, played it aggressively, and drove it right down the gut of the fairway. And I said, this golf tournament's over with.
There's a lot of times when I think you look out there and you have that big lead, Eric, and you say, you know what, let me just get it into play a couple times here.
And that's the hard part sometimes when you start trying to play conservative. As you saw Brent hitting the ball in the middle of the green, he actually made a lot of 3, 4, 5, 6 footers coming down the stretch for his pars. He was trying to lag the ball up close to the hole, and it got difficult. He played so aggressively during the tournament that he got to 21 under par. Now he's trying to play a little bit conservative. It was kind of tough for him to back off, actually.
All right, Billy Ray, we'll get back to you a little bit later on, but right now, of course, big storm was expected out here today. That's why they pushed the playing time up to 7 a.m. for everybody out here at TPC River Highlands. Curtis Jackson, though, knows, like the rest of us, no storm, just hot, sunny weather right now. And Curtis has this report on how it affected the crowds.
Well, Eric, I can tell you one thing. A lot of folks were a little upset that they went ahead and brought those umbrellas and ended up just carrying them around all day. Let's take a look at some of the things that the fans had to deal with. First, there was the heat, and then there was the heat, and then there was that approaching storm. It did, however, give them a chance to get up a little early and do some bird watching. There was more than one kind of birdie at the GHO. What time did you have to set the alarm clock this morning?
Oh, about 6 o'clock.
There were lots of early birdies, catching the worm, and in some cases, a nap. The final round of the GHO began at 7 o'clock this morning in anticipation of a storm that passed over the TPC faster than a golf ball off the tee. Still, many fans woke up with the birds, but most seemed to putter their way in.
Been here for about an hour now, so not too early.
weren't ready for the 7 o'clock.
No, not that early, no.
The early start may not have teed off fans, but it may have taken a slice out of attendance. About 70,000 showed up for this year's final round. That's 10,000 less than last year. Vendors raising money for charities say business started out slow, but picked up as the day went on.
It didn't hurt us at all. We're almost empty, and that's how we always end up every year.
Hot weather may have also been a factor in this year's attendance, though by many accounts it was cooler than earlier this week. Die-hard golf fans were also encouraged by an impressive field of big names on the leaderboard.
You have Duval and Leonard and Davis Love.
For the week.
GHO organizers are downplaying the numbers, and fans still got what they came for, and maybe a little more. Well, let's take a closer look at some of those numbers again. The overall attendance for the week was also down compared with last year, down by exactly about 10,000 or so. And you may recall last year that tournament on the 4th of July weekend. So you're going to have to think about that one, Joe.
All right, thanks a lot, Curtis. When we come back, we sit down one-on-one with the new champ, Brent Guyberger.
Inside the GHO on WFSB-3 is brought to you by New England Ford Dealers, Amica Insurance, Lowe's Home Improvement, Connecticut Light and Power, and New England Dodge Dealers.
He's got a new camera, a Crystal Trophy, and $450,000. Here's Brent Guyberger.
Brent, every kid dreams of winning X title, no matter what sport they want to go into. Here you are, you have won. Is this what you thought it would be like?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I won it the way I did.
Excellent ball swing, good tempo.
And I proved something to myself out there in the first, 14, 15, 16 holes. And I kept doing what I was doing the first 3 days. And it showed, and I stayed within myself pretty well out there.
When did you know when you're out there today, hey, I'm coasting in for a victory here?
I didn't want to start thinking about that too much. I knew on 18 I was doing fine. And you get by 17's the hole, you can make a big number, and I was trying to be careful with that. I thought I hit a pretty good shot on the second shot, but it didn't turn out that way.
Is there any one thing you're going to take away from this experience here this week, and it'll be the key memory? I mean, is it the ace, or is there something that we didn't see that happened this week to you?
Oh, there's a lot of things. The hole-in-one was nice. That was only my second one. And there's a lot of things out there. The fans were great. I had a couple friends in the crowd. It was nice to see. And my caddy and I had a lot of fun out there the last few days. And the way I played today, it made it much more enjoyable to come down the last few holes.
You're in a pretty small group of company now, being a PGA Tour winner. This is a nice little fraternity you're in now. What is that feeling when you walk up 18 and you're about to get into that door and be a part of that group?
A little bit overwhelming, all the people up there applauding you as you come up last hole. It was pretty special. Especially the way I was winning the tournament. It wasn't a big grind on the last couple of holes, well, like it usually is, 1 or 2 shot lead. It was 6 or 4 shots, so it was a lot of fun to be able to take it all in and enjoy the moment.
We were looking at footage earlier today, 1976, and your dad is out there at the GHO, and you were there then. And now you're here sitting with us as a champ. It's got to be a great feeling.
It is. I know I'll go to some of the tournaments my dad has won, and I mean, all the tournaments are really special, but it's nice to be able to play in tournaments and have people come up to you and seeing they saw your dad play here, he won here, and it's a lot of fun meeting people and having them tell you all these things, and I remember a lot of them growing up. But being able to come out and win, and now being able to talk to my dad about it is pretty special.
Thousands of people cheering for you, and then they hand you a check for nearly $500,000. How do you celebrate? What are you going to do?
I'm halfway through my beer upstairs, and need to go finish that one and a few more, and I'm sure it'll start sinking in pretty soon.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Billy Ray, your final thoughts.
Another first-time winner at GHO, and I think Brett will use this as a stepping stone to go into greater things.
Brent Guyberger, hot golf, clutch golf when he needed it most at the start of the day, dominated.
Great time. Thanks for watching all week long, and thanks to the entire Channel 3 staff for your hard work, especially you, the loyal viewers, for tuning in. That's it from this year's GHO. Have a great rest of the summer, everyone.